Record start. Pop that top. All right. Well, I think we're just going to roll right into this. We're back. We took a little bit of a break. I went to Southwest Audio Fest about 2 weeks ago, and we tried to get uh, our friend Brian Von Bork to join us last week, and he's just a busy man. Today he's on the racetrack, so he's here with us in spirit. But yeah, we're having a nice Colorado brew from one of our favorites, Bootstrap Brewing. I really like those people. They're awesome. They're good people to support.
Yeah, they're fun. I think we've done one of theirs before. I don't remember, but yeah, they used to be right around the corner here in Niwot. It was nice to pop over there.
I know.
I gotta ride the mic.
Yeah, I know you want to lean back.
Yeah,
I
love to slouch.
We'll get a scissor boom and just attach it to your chair, and you can just recline.
Reclines with me. That'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can hear you now. So
very good.
Yeah, Stephen Lacey at Bootstrap. They are fantastic folks, and they make a darn fine brew. So what is this? What did you pick up?
So this is an Irish red, fistful of roses, Irish red. Pretty light, 5%. Super tasty. I've always loved reds. You know, I can right out of college and in college we were one of my soccer teams was sponsored by Killian's. We get Killian's Red.
That's what I was going to say.
Drink a lot of Killian's Red. Anyway.
Yeah, Killian's Irish Red is a good one. All right, Fistful of Roses, Irish Red from Bootstrap. Well, yeah, I wish that you could have went to Southwest. It was a lot of fun. So this is kind of a Southwest recap show for us, and then also we'll just kind of catch up on some fun new things that we've been doing the last couple of weeks here. But I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to try this. So for the people who watch, they can actually see what's going on. But we're going to open up all these cool pictures that I took and just go through Southwest together. But it was a really neat venue. It felt really open and spacious, and it was really cool to have like the audio part of the hotel. There was like 3 simultaneous expos going on at the same time there.
Oh, wow.
And for the audio portion, there was 14 floors. Well, I mean, it was the top few floors, but the whole stack of floors was open to the bottom, so you could see kind of what all the ground level activity was from the 14th floor. And I know at Chicago at Expono, that cuts off, I think, at like floor 5 or 6 or something.
Right.
But yeah, it just felt really big and open, and had a great vibe to it. Like everyone was just really pleasant to talk with, and it was a great networking and a great event to get to meet people. The venue just felt more comfortable to stick around there and chat with people. So I liked it a lot. I think I'm going to be looking forward to going back next year. But they had a bunch of really cool like kind of Asian art all over the place, like mixture of Thai and Japanese kind of influences all over. So I had to take photos of some of this beautiful scenery while I was there. I thought this was unique for Southwest Audio Fest to have.
Yeah, that's different for sure.
A bunch of this stuff. But yeah, very good venue. Very good venue. So after when I showed up, there was already some stuff in the room. We were partnering with YG, and so they drove down quite a few days before I was able to get there. So they helped kind of drop some of this stuff off in the room for us. And it was really cool working with them.
Yeah, that's right. And that was not smooth sailing getting there, as I remember. I remember there was a forecast for a huge storm here, and they were starting to cancel flights, and the risk of flights being canceled. So
yeah, I guess I should probably talk about
that. Plans a bit.
Yeah, because my plan was to fly out on Thursday, and there was a blizzard that rolled through, and
Blizzard forecast. You know.
blizzard forecasted. Yeah, but as far as everyone was concerned, it was going to be near impossible travel conditions on Thursday, and I just kind of made the split decision at the last minute to drive down straight from Colorado. So just kind of I woke up, got an oil change, stopped by the shop to grab a couple things, and just packed it up and left. So kind of changed at the last minute there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
You got a 12, 14-hour drive. Is that
It was about about 14 hours. There was some stops, I think it could be
you have
like
to
12 if
blasted through? Yeah.
yeah. Um, I got stopped a couple times. Um, I guess this could be some more fun things to bring up on the podcast here on the show. So yeah, I got a speeding ticket on the way down in the tiniest little town in the middle of nowhere, as one might expect on one of these kind of last minute road trips.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was leaving the town. I got stopped right like maybe 40, 50 feet in front of the speed limit change sign. And you know, I was probably the most pleasant person that he's ever pulled over at that point in time, but it didn't get me out of anything this time. So yes, got a ticket on the way down, and I got pulled over on the way back, and
But no ticket.
but no ticket. And I don't know how I'm still here having this conversation right now. It's modern cars these days are very smooth. Part of this drive, I swapped cars with my wife, who has like a nice new crossover, a nice new Mazda crossover, and all of my cars, they start screaming at you when you start climbing the RPM. And like there's a lot of haptic kind of feedback when you're driving most of my cars, and they're all stick too, but I didn't want to do that all the way down to Dallas. So I drove her car, and it just wants to speed. It just wants to pick up speed. It's so smooth I didn't even notice. But yeah, I might have gotten clocked at triple digits, and I somehow got a warning on that one. Um, and again, probably the most pleasant person that officer, that state trooper, I should say, has ever pulled over, because yeah, I was terrified the entire time. Yeah, it sucks. I think he was understanding to the fact that I told him that, I wasn't even supposed to be driving, and the blizzard that came through changed my plans and stuff. And so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the several years that we drove out to Vegas, and we often would rent two minivans. It'd be three or four of us drive out. And I know that multiple cars going, the natural inclination is to race a little bit. And so I don't know how we never had any incidents, pulls over, anything. It was yeah, we it could have gone bad many times, but we survived every time, clean.
Yeah, when this guy sent me off with my warning, he comes back to the door, and he like kind of pretty forcefully kind of puts his hand on the window, and then he just stops the ticket in the window at me, all kind of angry, and then points to where it says warning. And then he points down at the bottom, and it says, "Do better. Take responsibility." And God, I felt bad. I was about to be like, "Sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry." And but no, I'm very, very thankful, because yeah, he could have really put a damper on the trip, more so than the ticket through the population town of 20 people that I got. But so yeah, that was
All right.
it was
You made it
eventful.
safe.
I'm
Made it
back.
down there.
Yeah, we're back. So yeah, Brian helped set the room up. This is Brian doing some preliminary listening right when we rolled in there. We just wanted to get it set up and music going so we can finish setting up the rest of the room with some tunes.
Yep. get everything warming up. Yeah.
Oh, that's the show over. I mean, I guess I'm jumping right to the end, but that's us actually helping the YG, one of the YG rooms pack up, and you know, our good friend
That's a lot
Steve
of gear. Yeah.
in the shot there. But yeah, they did such a great job with this room. I should have took a better picture when everything was assembled, because the amount of acoustic treatment that these guys brought just took care of the entire room. It was really well thought out. So this room was like probably the best executed room there as far as like the overall room layout and kind of paying mind to the acoustics and such, which makes me very excited for Axpona since we are partnering with them at Axpona.
Right.
The system that we played was so much fun, though. There was a friend that we made right before the show, Charles King, who's a reel-to-reel tape guru, and I connected with him by email right before the show and said, "Hey, you're welcome to bring that tape thing on up if you want to play some analog tape goodness in our room, just kind of playing around." And he said, "Sure, why not?" And he brought this thing up, set it up. It looked great with the system too. It just looked like a perfect match. But he played us some Beach Boys recordings, and it was a kind of a tribute group to the Beach Boys as well that was recorded on this. I think, but it was a 7.5 IPS tape is what we were listening to, and it just sounded amazing. We had the volume like almost at max, and it was just the most glorious sound. It sounded great. I'm a tape head. I love me some tape. But it was really kind of Charles to come up and wind that thing up and spin a few things with us. There was some old jazz recording that he had put on as well. Then backed by the blue, backed by blue, Cardis. It was such a gorgeous system. It all came together really well, and I think Charlie would be proud of the amount of Myrtle blocks in action there.
Very good. Yep.
And then yeah, we got a professional shot done. One of the photographers that was just kind of poking in from room to room had a lot of praise about the chic look of the system, just the rack, the electronics, like the contrast of the rack and the YG speakers and how that kind of came all together. That's my shot. It doesn't look as nice as this one, but this is Chris Fluke. Fluke Shoots on Instagram is his tag. But yeah, it's just the Bauer rack. I think really adds a lot to this system by its super minimalist kind of design.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, it's the first time I've seen that assembled. I saw the box come in and leave, but we never had it set up here.
Yeah, well,
I haven't seen.
Gosh, I stew on a lot of this stuff up until the last minute, and then I contacted Thomas Kunzler at Bauer Audio like the week before the show. And was like, "Hey Thomas, can you get a rack out here before Southwest Audio Fest by any chance?" And he made it happen. And yeah, it came together really well. They made a great product. I mean, it's manufactured in Germany, and they put a lot of research and development into the cutouts on the bottom of the shelves, and there's certain patterns that they had auditioned against the others to find the best sounding platform that disperses resonance the most. So it's not just some fancy shelf. There's some acoustics behind it.
It's not just a plain slab.
No. I had to take a fun little artsy shot of our forthcoming Myrtle stick. We'll have to get these in a usable
They're
memory.
actually walnut, but yeah, these ones are walnut.
Yeah. Well, all right, walnut stick. But yeah, coming soon to a web shop near you. We'll get some larger format memory cards on there, and you can load it up with high res files. You can put the IBE disk on it and slot that in the back of your Ayre network equipped device and go. It'd be awesome. Oh yeah. So fortune smiled upon me and I had the opportunity to earn an extra beer because the waitress messed up my order. So I asked for an IPA and she did bring me kind of a dark amber kind of brew, and she was about to take it back. And I forbid that and said if she was going to pour it out, that
Yeah.
she would be cursed by the beer gods. And so she had to leave it. But gosh, oh man, almighty, the barbecue is no joke. I mean, it's probably like one of those things where you go to Mexico and like any spot is going to just be authentic and amazing and just it'll hit it out of the park. This place was not too far from the venue. It was like just down the street. Like you could walk to it like 5 minutes, and it was amazing. The brisket just fell apart in the tongs.
Yeah.
It was out of this world good. And they're
Awesome.
great people too. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the restaurant now, but went down with some of the upscale audio folks and
Oh, yeah.
Brian. And so yeah, it was Ayre, Upscale, and Cardis barbecue party down the street.
Boy, I am jealous of that one. Sorry, I missed that one for sure.
I know Ariel is the bottomless pit, folks. This guy can eat. He could probably devour half of that platter easily.
Yeah. My son could eat the whole thing, but
Right.
he is the new bottomless pit champion.
It's that biker metabolism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of cool selfies with people. There's me and Brian holding it down. That was day one. He walked up and it looked like we just kind of came from the same tailor. Just had the same slick black coat and jeans and dress shoes. We're making that room look good. But it was, yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to hang out with Brian because, as we've talked about before on the show, we use Cardis for our OEM solutions for pretty much all of our products in a lot of capacities. And getting me and Brian together just meant that he had nowhere to run from all my questions and ideas. So, so yeah, there's going to be, I think, some pretty cool, fun new things that might transpire from new ideas that happen with us just kind of spitballing back and forth there. So it was good. That kind of time is valuable. We're always so busy, just like running the day-to-day ops, both Cardis and Ayre on both ends, that we haven't had as much time to have those talks. But I think we made a lot of progress on some things. A local to us, this guy was so much fun. Charles Kermis from Kermis Audio. So we need to hang out with Charles and invite him over and get him on the podcast, I think, soon too. I mean, he's got his ultrasonic record cleaning technology that's really cool, but he's got I read a little bit on his bio on the website like a couple of years ago, and so my memory might be a little fuzzy, but I know he's done some like contracted engineering for long cable runs or something of the sort for the military. And he's got like a lot of really he's a genius. I went and introduced myself since we're right in each other's backyard, and he was just the most kind person. He instantly invited me to come. He was tearing down when I went and introduced myself, and he invited me to come have dinner with him, and we talked about records and phono preamps and EQ curves and things like that, and a lot of cool topics that are relevant to some things that we're working on now.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's a smart fellow. This such a this photo is like still a 9 out of 10, but it's just a little fuzzy, and it could have been a 10 out of 10. Love David Solomon. He's such a great soul. I mean, I don't know what it was, but this show he seemed extra happy, and just like his vibe was just super positive and uplifting, and came and sat and listened to some music with us for a little bit. He gifted me with a little Qobuz thumb drive that had a bunch of high res files on it. So that was really cool. But he and I kind of have a similar appreciation for some eclectic drummers out there. Like Jeff Sipe is one of them. Any listeners who want a good music recommendation, that's Jake and David Solomon approved. Jeff Sipe, drummer. And then yeah, Mr. Lou Hinckley, he was one of the organizers for the show and does, you know, Capitol and Pacific Audio Fest. And so this was my first time doing one of their shows. I think it's maybe it was Ayre's first time in general doing one of those shows, Pacific,
Yeah, I think so.
Capital, or Southwest. Yeah, but they do a great job. They're yeah, fantastic guys to work with. The logistics team that they roped in, RG Logistics, Rusty G. Rusty is also a Denver guy that was the one exclusively handling the logistics for the entire show for it down there. But they managed to get some really great people involved. There was a band that I shot a video of that I thought was kind of fun. It was just a little 3-piece. I think The Last City was what they're called. Yeah, little 3-piece, gal on violin, and two fellas, one on guitar and one on keys, and they just had a really fun vibe to them. And I have a feeling they might be invited back at some point to these shows. So we'll see The Last City one last time, I think. And then met OCD Hi-Fi guy, Mikey, and that was a lot of fun. He's one of those few YouTuber guys that I will actually make some time for from time to time. Him and I'll watch Mr. J's Audio Lab too. I didn't get a photo with Jay, but I did get a chance to talk with him. But you know, I appreciate what those guys do. It's nice to have that kind of constant dialogue in hi-fi, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, OCD hi-fi guy. And my last selfie with Mr. Marshall Terry. And Marshall's turned into a good friend. I feel he's like a old soul almost, but he's a brilliant dude. He makes some really cool, unique products. He's very well known in the mastering world because he builds, as far as mastering equalizers are concerned, I think it's probably one of the most fresh and exciting designs that's happened in the last like 20 years. Maybe it's really an ingenious approach. But his room was featuring some his aesthetic is, it's probably a good 40-50 years ago,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
but he's got these Great Plains audio / like old school Altec Lansing design monitors that he
Yep.
works with. I think these essentially are kind of like they might still be in use. I should probably look this up, but he mentioned that these are the same monitors that the Beatles worked with in Abbey Roads back when they were recording. So same principle, same design there. And then in this photo, for those who can see down on the far right, kind of in the little corner, I'll try to get a better photo of that, is what he was kind of featuring the most was his 30 amp EI core isolation transformer. It's a balanced isolation transformer, I should say. And it's a monster. It's technically a 40 amp, but I guess he rates it for 30. I think it would be absurd if 40 amps somehow made its way through that. But
right. Not from the wall, that's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought, you know, once I learned more about it at the show there, listening into his presentation, it kind of flipped on some light bulbs for me. And I thought that it was quite neat that he's using a large EI core transformer, because there's a few other companies offering something similar to what he's doing, such as like a quote unquote balanced power conditioner, but they're using these massive toroids. And as we know, the EI core is already naturally great at rejecting all that RF interference and stuff that could come in the line. So it just kind of lines up with our principles to begin with for something like that.
Right.
But very curious product. I mean, we're always liking, I love testing things. We're always auditioning and using our ears and trying new things around here. And I think it's possible it could be a nice benefit in a trade show situation like this, to maybe ditch some of that hotel power and kind of
Yeah.
clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, to definitely isolate, reject a lot of that noise because there's so many, the hotel itself is just a massive complex antenna with lots of rooms connected.
It's true.
A lot of noise being injected, a lot of noise being picked up. It's it's not an ideal environment to set up a hi-fi system.
Right. And there's some trade-offs. I mean, in the few tests that I've had with it so far, I've noticed some trade-offs here or there, but I think for that use scenario in a hotel or maybe even like a big apartment build, excuse me, a big apartment building or something of that sort that's got some dirty municipal power to it, that could be worth looking into. And then I had to steal a couple of his stickers that I thought were pretty fun. Music is not a television, just to hit home that fact that you should be listening to music and not watching a television. But it's our credenza spread right there. And that credenza was the heaviest of credenzas that I've ever experienced.
Did you actually try to move it?
Yeah. Yeah, so I
typically frowned upon by the hotels.
Right. So Brian and I made an attempt, and it might have caused a little tweak in my back, but somehow, some way, one of the rooms was able to move it all the way over in front of the windows. So they must have just been dedicated. They took the refrigerator and everything out, maybe, but that it was really heavy, and there was no getting around that thing.
Huh.
But yeah, those are some of my photos from the Southwest show. All in all, that was a lot of fun. I mean, I am excited to get back and do that again next year. I think I just see it growing. It did have a really good vibe, and I think we'll see it continue to grow.
Awesome.
So yeah, here's what Brian is doing today.
Jealous again.
Yeah, it does. I am super jealous. So a couple other cool things I guess have happened kind of in between the show and since we've been back. We did this really cool new project that we had been working on. Full kind of green lit it.
Yeah. It's something we ideally would have done from the beginning, but it wasn't. We didn't think about it until we were already shipping. I'm like, oh, so we're talking about Vanderstein or other basically high pass filter option for any of our power amps. And so we're talking about this little indicator badge on the front that indicates that product has that filter installed. And it's it's a nice little promotion, but it's also kind of important, for anybody that is going to sell their gear. It needs to be known that any particular amp has this very special option installed, because then it's not going to be properly compatible with just any speakers. So for many of the early ones we did, there are no markings whatsoever, which is a bit of a risk. And so and then we started either like handwriting or putting a little label on the back of the unit near the serial number. But really I think for the best way to show this and even show it off, and actually promote it, is to actually have a little, again, in kind of Ayre style, very simplistic, kind of like the MP digital filter badge that kind of shows the transient response of our filter. This shows the frequency response, or a likeness of the frequency response for the high pass filter. So now we can any unit that gets built or comes back for the mod, we'll get a little indicator on the front, on the faceplate.
Yeah. And I guess as like, I mean, we don't have to go too deep into this. This could be like a whole other episode, but since I've posted this, I've had a few people question like, well, why do you guys do that? And it's like not quite understanding some of the benefits. And so I guess like a couple that I can just quickly throw out is just when you do that, you make the power supply work a lot more efficiently on the air amp to the point where it's probably going to be in class A lot of the time when it's paired up with the appropriate speaker, like a Vandersteen Quattro, for example. So you limit the current demand, and it doesn't have to shift its biasing, right? That's I think that's probably one of the more notable benefits, but there's physical movement to the drivers that's limited as well. I mean, lower in frequency is going to mean the driver is going to try to move further, and so you kind of reduce distortion and just kind of adds to the clear kind of non-fatiguing sound when your driver is not trying to move further than it wants to and outside of its realm of efficiency, really. So
Right. Yeah. In those cases, we're talking about where we're something like a Quattro, where they have their own bass amp built in, and so there's a filter involved in it that then compensates for what is cut off coming out of the amp, compensate for that, and then dedicated to drive the woofer in those low frequencies.
yeah, my understanding is it's basically the same filter slope,
Yep.
but mirrored
Yep.
on the
Inverse. Yep.
Yep. So it's like a low pass amp
Yep.
in that regard. And because you're sending it a 6 dB slope filtered signal, they are applying some gain to kind of make up for that. But essentially those two mirrored filter sets kind of create a flat frequency response in the end. And then you can further tune those systems with the active sub section depending on the room from there. So it's really cool. It just it maximizes efficiency for the mids and highs amplifier and the lows, even though the low frequency amp or well, I mean, getting rid of everything above like 100 hertz on the low frequency amp is going to be a benefit to its power supply too. So in any case, there's a lot of benefits. We think it's cool. We believe in it, and now you can see when it's done. So that happened, and then there's just a couple other things that I thought was really cool. So the UK had a show that we couldn't make it out to, so we express shipped some reference series gear out to those guys, and I think they had a really good show there. And then this weekend, actually happening right now down in Australia, is another trade show. So our friends Audio Magic down there are showing off an air system in one of their 2 rooms. And then we got this giant shipment out the door. It's a lot of fun for us to see something stacked this big these days. I think it's very refreshing. So this is pretty much all going to Poland. I think actually maybe one or two of those boxes might be going to Romania, but either way, they're going to the Baltics, going to that same region. So Poland is really excited about the new 8 series stuff. So that's all combination of 8 series equipment. And if we've got any listeners or watchers in Poland, check out our distributor Audio Fast, and it sounds like any one of their dealers in Poland will have an air system that you can go and listen to
very soon. Yep.
And then Romania is a new partner for us, Stereo Planet, and this is something that's been long in the works. I met Robert with Stereo Planet just before Munich last year, and then we got a chance to meet in person there and kind of formalize and decide on kind of what components and things that would make the most sense for them. And we, after some delays on kind of their part, but after some delays, we finally got this out the door, and so now we have new representation in Romania, and that would just be a fun place to go visit, I think, too.
Yeah.
Go do some castle tours. I think Transylvania is there.
That would be fun. Be a lot of fun.
There's probably a lot of good bike trails and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there Europe, I believe there is. I'm not familiar. I don't follow that very closely anymore. But yeah, I'm sure there are.
Well, you're following what's going on in Munich, I would take it, because we go to Expona next week, but then Munich is next month. It's just a few weeks away, it seems. So
Yeah, it's basically a month away. I believe I think I'll head out May 6th, I think. So basically a month away. We're sneaking up. Yeah. So we've committed to a room. Committed. I'm definitely going. And you might be going.
we'll
We'll
see.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta make some arrangements still.
Yeah, a lot going on, but that'd be good. Yeah, last year we did not exhibit. This year we will exhibit, and we have a really cool mixture of partners, I think, on that one as well, with our friend Sonner Audio, friend Gunny from Sonner Audio, Ikigai Audio, Artisania Audio, and Pachenko Labs. So just kind of a global effort. Everyone's got a really unique product. I mean, the Pachenko Labs servers are real sexy, and that is a product I can see is probably not easy to build a server. Is that something you think you'd ever want to dabble with?
No, well, we not personally. We actually started a project, and we were outsourcing part of it, and we're doing it. And so this is probably 15 years ago now. We were actually working on one.
Yeah.
We're still kind of it was kind of early on of that type of product, and so but so there weren't readily available solutions for pieces of it that were kind of some of our hurdles that we had some ideas. But anyway, I wasn't particularly involved at the time, and then it got mothballed. I think I found the box of all the prototype stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the mothballs.
The mothballs, yeah. Well, there might be mothballs. I don't know. I didn't actually open the box. I know where the box is.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Well, that type of product would actually be quite a bit easier now. So it's
sure.
There's there's and if we're talking about having a server that had like an analog output or something, then I think we would have a great solution for it. But my list is so long, I'm not going to add it to my list just yet.
No. I think we'll just keep finding cool people like Chan at Pachenko Labs to work with until then. And yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out and the user interface and that sort of thing. That can kind of make or break those kind of products, I think, for some people. It's just how do you interface with it. So I'm curious to know how that works. And then the Ikigai cables with the silver and the gold conductors has also really piqued my interest. So just something now I have to test it. I have to hear it. And then Sonner has their reference bookshelf speaker. He just got done designing and is going to be kind of showing off his new stand for his bookshelf speaker. And he's also, I trust Gunny's process and his ears and his just his approach to develop product development. And it sounds like he listened to a lot of different variations of what that stand design initially was like. There was a few different evolutions of it sounds like, but yeah, he did a lot of listening, and it sounds like this is going to add to the performance of this speaker, and we've had the Legato Duo floor standers now for, gosh, good 6 months or so. Time's been flying. I mean, I
No,
think
it's a
they got,
couple months.
okay, 3, 4 months maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
maybe if time is fine. But yeah.
losing
Like,
track, guys. But yeah, I think we got them right before the turn of the year, maybe. But either way, we had an opportunity to give a home to some Legato Duo floor stander speakers. They retail at $9,500, and they're really some of the most impressive speakers I've heard at that price point in
yeah.
today's market. And I'm also a sucker for a nice bookshelf speaker, and so now I'm really curious to see to hear what this new what Gunny's Allegro Unum with these new stands sounds like. It's going to be awesome. But that's it. This is crunch time. We're going to be packing up everything that we can this weekend. And Monday, it gets on a truck and heads out to the show. And we're at room 402. And technically, 715 is where you'll be able to hear Ayre Acoustics at Expona. So 402 is Ayre, YG, and Argento on kind of behalf of our dealer musical artisans, and 715 will be a home audio room featuring Ayre, Sonor, and Margulis electronics. So we will have our QX5 DAC in that room as the primary source, as it should be.
Indeed. Yeah. Should be in every room. It's,
But I'm excited. It's going to be great. We'll try our best to take a lot of cool photos and keep you guys informed as to what's going on. But let us know what shows you want to see us going to, and we'll try to keep making some events happen this year.
yeah. Yeah. We'll try to do it. Yeah. Maybe deal we do it. I know heading to Expo last year, we had grand plans to do either even at Pints with Ayre there or doing more videos, and it just got so crazy busy. Like it never even crossed our mind as we were there. But maybe we'll be a bit. Maybe this year we'll find a minute or two to do something.
Yeah,
Post something.
we'll just give
Anyway.
you guys we'll give you guys a nice cheers or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, once those shows get going, like it's like plans are out the
Yep.
window.
Yep. Yes.
But
That's right.
Ariel, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Right.
everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.